I've read somewhere in the past that Jupiter Lander was the first game released for the Commodore 64 back in August 1982, and is one of 5 Commodore 64 games to have a 1982 copyright message on the loading screen. Well, when landing on the moon is boring, try landing on Jupiter. Although, considering that Jupiter is a gas giant, I'm not sure there will be many places to land, and Jupiter's atmosphere would kill you instantly. That is, if the monoliths don't get you first. The other 4 games that arrived in '82 were Tooth Invaders, Seawolf, Choplifter, and Kickman. Jupiter Lander is a rather simple game, in which you have to try to slowly land a spare ship on Jupiter, and for this you have 3 landing platforms to safely land onto. If you make it to land on one of the 3 platforms with a slow falling speed in the yellow range meter displayed at the right of the screen, you get points and a refill of the fuel tank. The game is over when the tank display shows 0, and your ships can be destroyed when landing at too high of a speed, or when touching the rock walls of the planet. So yeah, definitely not Jupiter. It's a simple simulation of a spaceship landing, whereby you can prevent your ship crashing onto the planet by gravity, and is also slowed down by starting rockets, and thus creating repulsion of the engines. The design is a bit inspired by the game Lunar Lander. In fact, it's a flat-out copy of the gravity aspect of Atari's 1979 classic, to be fair. Obviously, due to its age, it has monotonous background graphics and simple sound effects to accompany the game, along with a very memorable intro melody, but this is to be expected and doesn't really impact upon the simplistic gameplay. In fact, let's play some dramatic music here. That seems to fit the game nicely. You start with a limited amount of fuel, which depletes quickly when you're using your thrusters to land your spacecraft. Here's a trick question: since you cannot hear sound in space because there's no atmosphere, can you hear sound on Jupiter? The answer is no, because you'd be dead before you heard anything. Beginners should try to land on the 5 times platform until they master the manoeuvring and landing of the spare ship. Moving on to the 10 times platform, providing you have more than 60 fuel. For a perfect landing on the 10 times platform, you can grab 7,000 points and enough fuel for further landings. You can thrust left and right and then upwards, and you see this green bar on the right with a little bit of yellow in the middle. You have to land with your ship in that yellow area. That's your speed gauge. You get more points for landing in more difficult locations, and less points for landing on the easy parts. A tip to note is if the fuel display shows only approximately 30%, then only the 2 times platform can be approached, so don't risk going for the big points when it could be a suicide mission. Though the lander itself looks like a big insect or bug on the VIC-20 version of Jupiter Lander, it didn't appear to have the parabolic antenna, so how could it communicate with the orbiting spacecraft? I knew that the Commodore 64 version has more realistic graphics. Ha! One of the earliest cartridge games I ever owned, and one I doubt I'll ever forget. But did you ever play this game back in the day? Or do you still even own this cartridge after all these years? It goes without saying that when you run out of fuel, you lose, because then you can't land, and you can't escape Jupiter's gravity, and you die. Basically, you're screwed, no matter what you do in Jupiter Lander. But it's good fun, and it's packed full of nostalgia, and that's all that matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like button, and don't forget to share your experiences with Jupiter Lander in the comments section. As always, your support is gratefully appreciated, and if you're new to the channel but are enjoying the nostalgia, then maybe consider subscribing and following me on this epic journey down memory lane. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye for now.